الرابع. صباح الخير، كيفكم؟ Today we are going to read a scientific article which is entitled Endangered Animals in the North. So we are going to read about animals in danger, but where do these animals live? They live in the north, and they mean by the North Pole اللي هي الدائرة القطبية الشمالية. And the word endangered، لو أخذنا هاي الكلمة endangered is an adjective. It means these animals are threatened with extinction، مهددين بالانقراض أو تحت الخطر. They are in danger. Okay. تمام. This article as we see is classified into paragraphs، مقسم ل paragraphs. كل paragraph له title معين. تمام. اللي هي the polar أول paragraph the polar bear which is an introduction مقدمة، وفي عندي habitat اللي هي their home المسكن تبعهم، appearance how they look. Okay, and we have the diet what they eat, reproduction كيف بتكاثروا, and the threats شو الأخطار اللي هم مهددين فيها. And if we look at this picture, this is a picture of polar bears. Okay, our polar bear that lives on the Arctic ice. And you see this is the Arctic اللي هي الدائرة المتجمدة الشمالية. تمام. You see this place is covered with ice. تمام. طيب لو نيجي بنقرأ أول باراجراف يا تاسع ونشوف سابع ونشوف عن شو بيحكي. The polar bear, the future for polar bear is uncertain. The climate is changing. Every spring the Arctic ice melts earlier and every summer there is less ice. The habitat of the polar bears may disappear. Nobody knows if they will survive. So this is an introduction. The writer is telling us that the future for polar bears is uncertain. We don't know, we are not sure what would happen with polar bears in the future. Why? Because the climate is changing, and the word climate means weather. الطقس. Okay, الطقس بتغير بشكل مستمر. Okay, so every spring بكل فصل spring, okay, the Arctic ice melts earlier and every summer there is less ice. So the Arctic ice melts means changes into water. So the ice which covers the Arctic، واتفقنا انه الاركتيك هي الدائرة القطبية الشمالية، it melts, it becomes water. Okay, and every summer there is no ice. So the habitat means home، موطنهم منزلهم للبولار بيرز هاي may disappear, and disappear means become no more seen اللي هي بيختفي يعني. تمام. nobody knows if they will survive, and survive means continue living يعني يكمل حياته أو يعيش. تمام. So why is the future for polar bears uncertain? Because the climate is changing and every summer there is less ice, so their habitat is lost, their home is lost. تمام. طيب نيجي للباراجراف الثاني which is habitat. Polar bears live all around the Arctic in northern Canada, Alaska, Greenland, Norway and Russia. In winter ice covers the Arctic Ocean. The sea water around the land freezes too. Polar bears hunt for food on the sea ice. In summer when the sea ice melts they live on the land, but there is little food for them. They wait for the autumn when the sea freezes they can go hunting again. So this paragraph is about where polar bears live. Okay, and where do polar bears live? They live all around the Arctic. شو زي ايش all around the Arctic؟ المناطق اللي حول الدائرة المتجمدة الشمالية like northern Canada, Alaska, Greenland, Norway and Russia. Now in these places, you know, in winter these places are covered with ice. هم مغطيين دائما بالشتاء. ايش بتكون كيف حالة المي عندهم وكيف الجو بيكون؟ كله جليد. Okay, now the sea water around the land freezes. كل المي اللي حوالين المنطقة بتتجمد. تمام. So polar bears hunt for food on the sea ice. So where do polar bears hunt for food? وين بيروحوا بيصطادوا أكلهم البولار بيرز؟ على المنطقة المتجمدة. مش بتجمد المي اللي موجودة على يعني المياه المحيطة بالدائرة القطبية كلها بتتجمد. they go on this ice and on this يعني they go on these ice surfaces and they hunt for food. they hunt fish. طبعا هم بياكلوا بتغدوا على ايش؟ الفيش. فبيمشوا على هذا الجليد و they hunt fish. Okay, now in summer شو بيصير بالمي هاي؟ water when the sea ice melts they live on the land. طبعا المي هاي الجليد كلياته بيدوب. Where do they go? They live on the land, but there is little food for them. Okay, they wait for the autumn when the sea freezes and they can go hunting again. تمام. So هذا الباراجراف بيورجيني where polar bears live. ممكن يكون عندي سؤال where do polar bears live والجواب around the Arctic in northern Canada, Alaska, Greenland, Norway and Russia. طيب where do they hunt for food? They hunt on sea ice. And when the sea melts where do they live? They live on the land. Okay, فهدول الأسئلة اللي ممكن تنسأل بهذا الباراجراف. نيجي لباراجراف 3 وناخده هو اليوم بس بكفي، اللي هو appearance. Polar bears are the largest kind of bear. The male is about 2.5 meters tall and weighs around 500 kilograms. The female is smaller, about 2 meters tall and weighs about 250 kilograms. Their thick white fur insulates them from the cold. Their feet are large and fairy. They can walk across the snow easily. They can swim well too because their feet are partly webbed. طيب لو نشوف الباراجراف هذا الموجود عنا ونشوف شو فيه معلومات. ممكن أسألك سؤال how tall is the male polar bear and how much does it weigh؟ وعم بسأل عن الذكر the male. okay. طيب لو سألتك how tall is the male polar bear and how much does it weigh؟ the male is about 2.5 meters tall and weighs around 500 kilograms. okay, which is too heavy يعني. طيب الفيميل الأنثى منه okay is less in weight وزنها أقل و less in height also وطولها أقل. okay, so how tall is the female polar bear and how much does she weigh أو does it weigh؟ الفيميل is smaller, about 2 meters tall and weighs about 250 kilograms. okay. طيب what covers their bodies؟ شو بيغطي جسمهم يا سابع؟ their thick white fur. إذن they are covered with thick white fur. and what do we mean by thick؟ thick يعني كثيف سابع. okay. white fur insulates. طب what's the importance؟ شو أهميته هذا thick white fur؟ what's the importance of this thick white fur؟ it insulates them from the cold. and insulates, this word okay, insulates means protects يحمي. their feet are large and fairy. okay. طيب their feet are large and fairy. what's the importance of their feet؟ okay. أو ليش مهم إنه يكون their feet large and fairy؟ ليش مغطيين بالفرو؟ okay. fairy اللي هي الادجكتيف من fair اللي هي covered with fur يعني. تمام. they can walk across the snow easily. إذن شو بتساعدهم الفيت تبعتهم إنهم fairy and large because they can walk أو they use them to walk across the snow easily. they can swim well too because their feet are partly webbed. partly معناها بشكل جزئي and webbed means separated يعني مفصولة. أقدامهم بشكل جزئي فيهم يعني مفصولة بشكل مش كامل جزئي. okay. طيب what's the importance of partly webbed feet؟ شو أهمية إنه تكون مفصولة الفيت تبعتهم؟ they can swim very well too. okay. they can swim very well. so it helps أو these feet help them swim very well. طيب and what helps them walk across the snow easily؟ their large fairy feet. تمام. today that's enough.